one I slide with. When it's time to rock, dick so hard.
Man. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing, man? How's everybody? Yeah, so I wanted to jump in real quick and do a quick episode about Adam 22. It's been an update. He's been released, and he actually spoke on this. So we're going to get into that. Before I get into that, you know, I got to get a legendary spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know what the final one says. Just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App, no more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to over 13,000. And yes, I am the king of the north. Let me know what kingdom you from. So we're going to get right to this clip, man. And we'll be back to discuss. You know what it is. Torture Talk. All right, man. So let's get it, man.
Said he finna spill the beans on what the heads is talking about.
Click like. Adam 22 speaks on being picked up and questioned about Big U. However, in the following clip, Wack breaks down what they really wanted from Adam. Before we hear that, let's hear from Adam. Get in the comments.
Do you feel like you've affected what's going on with them right now?
Not really.
You don't?
Although I can speak on some very, very privileged information right now that I think is going to set the internet on fire because all right, let me break this down for you. Let me break down the last 24 or so hours of my life. So I this morning got a colonoscopy as a result of the fact that I for a period of time was suffering from a condition called colitis, in which your colon becomes infected and irritated, whatever. They wanted to do a colonoscopy. This is my second time doing it. Basically, it involves you don't eat any food for 24 hours. You take a bunch of meds that make you.
Man, nobody want to hear about something getting stuck in your ass. Come on, bro. Get to the point, bro. Nobody wants to hear about that. I mean, then again, some of y'all might. I ain't gonna lie.
Shit out every last ounce of water and shit inside your body, and then you go into the doctor's office, they put you to sleep, they take a camera, they put the camera inside of your butthole, which means, yes, I was booka today.
And Brick's very jealous.
By a large Samoan man. I don't know. I was locked up. I was knocked out, so I don't remember anything from it at all. I'm sorry, Brick. I know that this kind of goes against the nature of our relationship and everything. I wasn't supposed to let another dude hold me down like that while you were locked up. I'm so sorry. But I did that today. Anyway, yesterday, I'm sitting around the house, starving myself all day. I actually have a newfound appreciation for fasting because I do feel like I achieved some sort of mental clarity while I didn't eat food for a day.
Shouts to the monks.
But while I'm in my house, I'm playing poker on my computer, a guy comes to my front door, and I didn't actually even know, but my girl was communicating with him through the box in the front of our house with the camera. She texts me, she says, a dude is here from the FBI, and basically he's trying to serve you with a subpoena. And so she told him, like a ride or die would, she told him, Adam's not here, and he's off at work or whatever. I forget what she told him. And so I immediately hop on the line with my lawyer. I say, what should I do? I don't want to, handle this situation wrong.
I mean, FBI show up at your door. It's all downhill from there. You already know. Make sure y'all go check out the episode before this because Wack explains why he believed the FBI picked him up. But yeah, man, it's going to get crazy.
Over and over, I've sat down with rappers or whoever who tell me about situations in which they divulged too much information to the police or whoever, and it ended up coming back to bite them. Especially, something that comes to mind is like Hurricane Chris, who caught a body that was blatantly self-defense. Soon as the cops come, he airs out his whole situation and ends up coming back to haunt him because the state ends up trying him. So if he had not made all those statements to the cops right after he had killed this dude, then it for sure would have been a way easier case for him to beat. Now, that being said, I'm not really that worried because I know that I myself haven't been involved in any criminality, but I figured I would have my lawyer take care.
That don't mean nothing. If you know some information about somebody, even if you wasn't involved, yeah, they could get you too. That's what the whole RICO thing is. That's the whole RICO. You don't have to be directly involved, but if you hanging with somebody all the time, Trust and believe. They could get you too. Somehow, some way, they'll try it.
Of it. So my lawyer reaches out to the guy who came to my door. She assures me that she's going to be able to ask the FBI agent a handful of questions, and from that information be able to ascertain, is Adam in trouble? Is Adam going to be, forced to hand over a crazy amount of information? Because that was kind of lingering around in my head as like, God, this is going to be a huge pain in the ass if they want to confiscate all the computers and everything in here. We're going to have to buy a bunch of computers to use.
Where's the furnace? Start the furnace up, guys.
I don't know. I was considering that. I have not destroyed any information for the record. But this is the thing that my lawyer comes back to me with. She said the feds were interested in one thing and one thing only. Because in my head, I'm thinking they're going to want copies of the podcasts that Brick or Luce were on. They're going to want to make sure that there wasn't anything in those podcasts that was edited out. Now,
and most likely it was. Most likely it was. And trust and believe, they're scouring the internet for all that. And whatever they could use, they're going to use it. But most likely it was. Most likely if there was something that you knew, you probably edited it out. I mean, I would too, I ain't gonna lie.
Anybody who knows me and No Jumper knows that we really don't like to edit things out. So the only stuff we're editing out is if it's like a 4-alarm fire, like, yo, we need to take this out. So I don't think there's ever been something that Brick or Luce told us that they needed us to edit out. But the one thing that the feds wanted was the cease and desist from Big U to No Jumper, asking us to take down the episode in which Luce Cannon first made the explosive statements that suggested that Big U had previous knowledge of Nipsey Hussle's death. Now.
Wow. I told y'all, man. I told y'all this. I told y'all. They are going after him because of this whole thing. Now, my thing is, if they wasn't, because I don't think Nipsey Hussle was mentioned in the whole case thing that was I seen. I don't think he was mentioned. But now, bro, I seen another video which I'm gonna react to, Charleston White breaking down what happened. Wow, that's huge. So they want that. I wonder what he said. I want to see what he said about it.
That situation is very much outside of what was mentioned in the indictment. In the indictment, there's nothing about Nipsey. There's nothing about any of that stuff. So this to me is kind of massive because it makes me feel like, oh, the FBI is interested in what Big U's involvement in Nipsey's death might be, which to me seems gigantic. I don't know why that cease and desist is not going to help them prosecute Brick Baby or Luce Cannon or anybody else. But the fact that they're interested in that, to me, adds quite a bit of credibility to the argument that perhaps Nipsey Hussle's death was a more complicated situation than it appears to be.
Well, isn't that what?
Bro. Oh, man. Bruh. This is crazy. The whole thing with when Cannon said that he called Nipsey and he said somebody called him and said, yo, Nipsey just got killed. And he called Nipsey and Nipsey answered the phone and he told him he loved him and all this stuff. And then 35 minutes later, he was told, somebody called him and told him he was killed. He said Big U called him the first time and said he was killed, but they didn't get to him yet. Or the dude, what's his name? Something, right? Didn't get to him yet. And then he did. Bro, that's crazy as hell, bro. This is nuts.
They gave it to him though. Isn't it?
We did hand it over, yeah.
Isn't this when that that?
Was it?
I mean, really, like.
So it's safe to say you the feds.
I'm happy to help the feds with talking about a document that
yeah.
we have previously discussed on here over and over, and which doesn't implicate anybody that I know or whatever. It's not like I know about Big U doing something illegal. Big U did something perfectly legal by sending over a document to us asking us to remove a piece of content. Now, for the record, it doesn't mean that this means that there's a full-scale investigation into Big U's involvement in this situation.
You don't feel like you.
I mean, if the feds is asking for that cease and desist letter, they're gonna ask him why. Now obviously he's gonna come on and say, well, he didn't say it, but then they're gonna ask the dude Loose Cannon what actually happened. I guess that's why, because he basically went on there and told everything. Say yeah, like he called me. He told me that Nipsey was dead, and then I called Nipsey and he wasn't dead, and then somebody called me back and said he was. That's why I think they asking for all this.
Played no part in them getting booked at all.
No,
Like
not really.
with the shit they set up here, and you clipping it up. I mean, I get you live, and people might be able to screen record, but some of the shit these niggas is saying, you sitting back, like even the feds probably like, I can't believe like these niggas is this dumb.
Well,
then you.
No, nigga, no. Absolutely not. Listen, I would put it to you like this. I don't really bang with Adam 22. I don't bang with Vlad. I don't bang with, what's the other dude? Any of these dudes that platform this, I don't. But I don't blame them. These niggas get up here and do this themselves. I do not get on here and say, yo, it's Adam. Yo, you ain't play a part? What, you should have stopped them. No. I don't blame that. These are grown men who are talking. And maybe back in the day, I might have had said, yeah, I felt like it's their fault because they platformed them. But at the same time, I can't blame them for that. Absolutely not. Why would I blame Adam 22 for something that Brick, whatever his name is, did or said? How am I gonna blame him for that? Like, no, it's the way you clip it up. No. This is one of the perfect examples of how us as men, especially black men, we can't take accountability for things that we do. Especially street niggas. Bro, take accountability for it. They say, nah, they shouldn't have said that. You don't talk like that. You know for a fact that you don't supposed to talk. You from the streets, you do not talk on the camera like that. You don't. A lot of these dudes, they got comfortable and they cool with doing this. You absolutely don't supposed to talk like that on camera. And yeah, you're going to say, well, you don't think you played a part in that? No. What? Listen to this. We'll hear this again.
I mean, I get you live, and people might be able to screen record, but some of the shit these niggas is saying, you sitting back, like even the feds probably like, I can't believe like these niggas is this dumb.
Well,
then you clip it up to reiterate what they said.
My attitude is basically, if somebody comes on the podcast and they want to live their truth, they want to talk about the things that they've been through, then it's none of my business to dig through each podcast and figure out what's criminal, what might come back to get them. Because let's be real, this is hip hop where a huge percentage of people's lyrics, songs, etc., are basically putting them in the mix and acknowledging that they've been involved with crimes. And you know, when I'm sitting there and Loose Cannon's saying, because keep in mind, this is my first time even understanding that Big U might have had any involvement in any street stuff still, when Loose Cannon's sitting there and saying, yeah, me and Big U went to this weed spot and we got all this money out of them, and then Big U didn't split the money up fairly and yada yada. I'm sitting there thinking, Big U's on that? Like, I had no idea that Big U would have been doing anything that could be considered extortion or, you know, payments for checking in, whatever.
Not a guess.
In retrospect, I feel a little naive since he did call his podcast that, and he was talking about the checking in process pretty openly.
He talked about
I mean, like Brick.
on the
Like, how you blaming him? How you trying to put this on him? You need to blame them. Like, nah, dog, this ain't got nothing to do with you. If they came on here and spoke on that, whatever. Oh, you clip it up and reiterate it. So what? That's what he's supposed to do. That's what his podcast is for. And no, and I'm not defending anything that he does. I'm just saying, I'm speaking openly. Because a lot of times we get into these positions where we basically try to say, well, you don't believe it's your fault. Like, huh? What? You came on the platform and talked about how you extort people, and I'm supposed to be like, I can't put that out because, bro, I'm trying to protect you. Nah, dog, put it out. Like, come on, nah. I'm not rolling with that, bro. Sorry.
At the end of the day, we see, like, we understand the bottom line is the money. So at the end of the day, like you just said, if they come on here and you ask them certain questions and they're dumb enough to speak on that, yeah, it's partly their fault, but you don't think the questions you ask are strategically bringing certain things about of them?
Well, it's not like I could have even asked about that.
Oh my God. Yo, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get up out of here, bro. Get out of here with that, bro. Absolutely not. You don't think the questions you asking them are strategically pulling stuff out of them? The first rule of the streets is keep your mouth shut. That's the first rule. Like, what? You dudes, if you dudes are from the streets, these new age street dudes don't understand nothing. If you from the streets, you know that that's the first rule. That's the first rule. These dudes is getting on a podcast talking about their criminality. How you blaming him? Whether you say, don't you think strategically pull it out of them? What? Yo, that's crazy work, bro. Oh my God.
Since I didn't know anything about that, they just started talking about
Well, like, who are y'all talking about?
No, look. See, me, I'm talking about Brick. Now, as far as guests that come on and willingly tell on themselves, that's 100% on them.
Okay,
I don't blame.
So
I don't blame platforms for dumbasses coming on the internet where you know the police are watching every platform everywhere and telling on crimes they committed. They're idiots.
Bro, then you gotta say that your boy's an idiot too, because he did the same thing. Whether you say strategically, he was on the phone with some dude. I seen this episode where he was saying, he said, how many bodies you got? I got multiple bodies. Now, we want to say bodies is in deleting people or bodies is in fighting and knocking people out. Either way, you could consider that a crime. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not the knocking people out part, because that might be in a fight, but come on, bro. Like you sitting on here actually defending someone who told on themselves. You're trying to say that Adam is partially responsible for these street dudes who already know the rule of the street is not to go and broadcast anything. Whether it's strategic or not, you should be smart enough to know that you're either being played or that you shouldn't be saying anything anyway. This is what I'm saying. Like, come on, bro. You can't be this crazy right now.
Understandable, but did you read Brick's indictment?
I'm not reading through none of that shit. But basically what I'm saying is
exactly. This is exactly what I be talking about. Exactly. You want to make a statement, but don't want to actually do the footwork. Exactly, nigga. This is exactly what I be talking about. It get me so frustrated to see and hear these dudes on these podcasts say stuff like this, but then try to give a coherent argument to someone about some criminology when you already know you didn't even read what your boy said. He probably told on himself in the indictment. He probably did all these things. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even read it. But yet and still, you up here saying, I'm not reading through none of that. But you making this, you ask, bro, I can't believe this. This is crazy.
Regardless of if anything he said on this show was in the indictment or not, some of the shit he said, if that's my boy, like if my brother was to say some shit like that, hey bro, you gotta stop talking about shit like that. Or I'm not even putting it up. Like, nigga, you just said some federal shit.
Yo, so your brother's dumb. So he's dumb. That's basically what you're saying. Your brother's dumb. So you basically saying, oh, well, you got to stop talking like that, bro, because you could get in trouble. Like, nah, bro. I'm not responsible for that, man. If I have a podcast and we openly talk and all my guests do the same thing, people trying to one up each other. They do it all the time. But I'm not responsible for what you say, bro. I'm not. Because what happens if I tell you not to do it and you continue to do it? I'm sure Adam probably did that. I'm even on Adam's side, but he might have did that one time. In fact, I think I heard him say to people on a podcast, well, don't you think if you saying stuff like this, it might get you in trouble? I swear I heard him say that a couple of times. They don't care. Like, come on, bro. You only responsible for yourself. I don't care I don't care what anybody tell you. You came in this world by yourself. You're gonna leave alone. You gonna lay on that hospital garment when you came out of your mom, and you gonna lay in that casket by yourself. That's how it goes.
Get that shit out before we put the clip out. I'm not just gonna be like, oh fuck it, it is what it is. He dumb enough to do it. If this is my boy, see, there's a difference between I'm calling this my homie, my friend, like Adam calls Brick, or some idiot that just comes up here and wants to go viral. Yeah, I caught 11 hats. Okay, you stupid as fuck.
But I think part of it is the fact that, you know, when Brick comes on here and says, I'm putting kill squads in the street, or I got more bodies than you got squabbles.
That's what I was getting. That was crazy.
But bro, he don't mean that shit.
It doesn't matter.
That's for entertainment purposes.
When he goes to court.
You see what I mean? Everything that, so you basically saying he had to hold his hand through the podcast. So even if he's joking, he has to correct him. That's basically what you're saying. This is a stupid take, bro. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Like, it's like, oh, so you basically saying he's stupid and he needs somebody to hold his hand through whatever they having a conversation. This man know what shouldn't, what not to be said online. He knows that. And you know it too. I'm sure you don't say it. Like, this is such a dumb take. Oh my God. This is so stupid. This is the reason why us as black men are set back. This is why we're behind. Because of people like this who co-sign stuff like that. Instead of him saying it ain't your fault, he shouldn't have said that. 100%. He should know the code of the code of the streets, bro. That's it. But you trying to say, well, don't you think it's kind of your fault because you was the one that said this to him and you kind of pulled it out of him? Come on, bro. Stop, bro. Cut it out.
They can still bring that type of shit up.
But my thing is that when I hear Brick say something like that, and of course I assume that Brick has never killed anybody, but when he says that kind of thing, I assume he's doing marketing because he knows that the aura of danger around him is such that that's really going to hook people and get them interested. And we're seeing that right now. Really, if I had a suggestion for Brick, if he gets out tomorrow, I'm going to say, let's get a video guy. Let's get in the studio. Let's drop music right now.
1000%.
Because realistically, having this aura of danger and criminality around you is going to be massively beneficial to people paying attention to your music or whatever you're trying to monetize. So, I mean, number one, all those statements were said on live. So, yeah, we could have cut it out, which would have basically meant that everybody besides us was able to monetize it. Or we could have, you know.
Is that more important?
So it's content over everything.
I mean, it's going to happen either way. So.
But the thing is, if you read Brick's indictment, you'll see, and I'm not telling you to because I know you don't want.
He's not being accused of anything like that.
That's what what I was trying to get to.
See what I mean? Don't even know what's going on, just talking. So you feel that way. You feel that way. Not him, you do. You're the one that feel like he's talking crazy. Why you didn't correct him? But you didn't even read the indictment. He's not even in the indictment for that. That's crazy.
Literally, like, he had an AK case from 2023. It's got nothing to do with anything he said on a podcast. He's not a part of that RICO with Big U and them. He's not listed as a defendant.
Yeah, I saw that.
On that RICO.
Yeah, I seen all
so
that.
There's nothing.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't see none of that because you didn't even know. No, you didn't. You're lying. You just said you ain't reading none of it. And if that was the case, you would have said, nah, I know he ain't a part of the whole Big U thing. I know he ain't. Now you saying that because he's saying it. You didn't see none of that. You ain't see none of it. That's crazy, man. I really don't understand it, man. I don't understand. I just don't understand a lot of these dudes, man. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't understand a lot of these dudes and how they move, and they blame everything on everybody else but themselves, or take accountability, bro. Take accountability, bro.
12 p.m.
Take accountability. That's how I'm looking at it. So let's get it.
He said, now what you saying, what Messiah said, like, oh, it could be used against you in court, potentially as a character witness, but I think that could easily be dismissed considering what's you're an entertainer for a living, and your persona is based on having this, street image, which these statements do nothing but substantiate. It's got nothing to do.
I mean, at the end of the day, if somebody come on here and they say what they say, that's coming out that person's mouth.
And even if Brick had never been on a podcast, you could just listen to his music and say, look at all this shit that he said. That's basically him declaring himself a killer.
His music.
That's 100% facts. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is 100% facts. And then what the other dude just said, hey, at the end of the day, it's about whoever come on here and speak whatever they speak. You can't control what that man say, bro. You can't. Whether you saying that, you can't. Just blame him, bro. You gotta blame him, bro.
It's way gnarlier than anything.
That's what I'm saying, is that, like, let's say tomorrow Brick gets hit with another indictment, and it's like, oh, we think Brick Baby killed these 4 people. I mean, the music is then gonna be, the Traplo Ross documentary is gonna be crazy because Brick talks like he's the man who's ever walked the West Coast in his music.
Swamp Story.
And that's what you're supposed to do.
Swamp Stories has a whole video calling him, you feel me?
Oh yeah, right.
You feel me? The Crip serial killer, whatever they call him.
And I mean, people want to blame you, which I think, again, you asking certain questions could be looked at as, fetish. But at the end of the day, these people are coming up here to give these stories, to give this behind the scenes information because they want to go viral. They want the clout. So at the end of the day, if you're willing to take the risk of sitting behind bars or being unalived or whatever the case is for clout, then that's on you, right? Like at the end of the day, I could.
Adam at? And the feds guy, he down at the Fed building. They came and got him this morning.
Yeah, man. So it's craziness. Crazy. Yeah, man. I just don't like that when people don't take accountability. Like, nah, bro. Your boy was wrong, bro. You can't blame nobody else for that. Even if you saying he coerced them to speak, bro, whatever. You know what I mean? I blame the platform. I ain't gonna be honest with you. You go on there and the platform, if the platform didn't exist, people wouldn't get in trouble. But then again, I got to take an L on that because, number one, I can't really say that it's the platform's fault. I used to say that when I wasn't a content creator. Now I understand that you can't control what people say. You can't. You just can't. You can't control what people say. It is what it is. Like, you just got to understand that people going to say what they want. And they got to take responsibility for what they say. You made your bet, you got to lay in it. That's it. So, thank y'all for joining me. All right, you know what it is. I'll see y'all. Have yourself a good day or good evening or a good night, whichever one it is. All right, man. Love y'all out there. See y'all. Peace. Bye.